Hey guys, we all have a foundation that we have purchased which is the wrong shade, wrong undertone, either too warm or too cool, and we just don't know what to do with. So it's just sitting in storage or in a cupboard unused. So I'm going to tell you how to fix the problem, how you can make any cool undertone foundation to a warm or a neutral shade, and any warm undertone to a cool or a neutral shade. I'm also going to demonstrate to you two different undertones on different sides of my face and how they can be matched to each other. So keep watching, guys. The foundations we're going to fix today is the Dior in the shade 3C. I'm normally a 3.5 and I'm not a cool girl, so ideally it should have been a neutral shade. So this was one of the mistakes that I made by listening to one of the sales girls at Myers. The second one is the Milani Conceal and Perfect 2-in-1 foundation in the shade 0.9 tan, and this is in the shade 0.9 tan, which is not my shade. So I am going to, so at the moment I have, you wouldn't believe it, I have one foundation that is very light and cool on one side of my face and the warm and the darker shade on the other side of the face. Even I couldn't tell you which side I applied unless I went and looked back at the video. So I hope you guys get an idea how to fix your old foundations with this video. So I am going to do some skin prep before I apply the foundation, as these are both matte foundations and they need very good hydration and primers before we can go in and apply them. Otherwise they're going to look very cakey, which was the issue that I've been having with these foundations, and that's why I never leaned towards them. They need a lot of work. The Milani, I've been trying it for the past 2 weeks and sort of warming up to it, but let's see, I'm still not too sure because I like a dewy finish and matte foundations are very difficult to work with and get the kind of right look. So let's see how we go. Essence Glow Booster on the right side. On the side where I am going to wear the lighter foundation from Dior, which I would like to darken, I'm using the Revlon Multitasker Better Than Filter, and I must tell you, this is so much cheaper than the Charlotte Tilbury filter and a much better product. You will see when I apply it into my skin. So that's a bit of a darker, medium deep that was in the shade medium deep. No, it's medium 005, that is on this side, and this is the Essence Skin Magic Filter. This is in the shade medium tan. So you can see this side I'm going to be applying the darker foundation, and this side I'm going to be applying the darker warmer foundation, and this side is the cooler foundation. So the magic product I'm talking about is the Barry and Pigment Paint in the shade Lilac Love and in the shade Orange Obsessed, because it fixes both of these products. The orange one fixes the too cool tone in the foundation, and the lilac fixes the warm tone in your foundation. So I'm going to be applying the Milani, which is the warm toned one in the shade 09A, which is too dark for me. Just a tad, that much, two tiny squirts of it, and then I will just blend this with a brush and evenly coat the brush with the product. So I feel like I need a little bit more of the lilac in the foundation because I've been using this. I know how the color looks like when it is the right neutral tone for me. And then so the key is to just keep applying, just keep mixing, just trying it on your skin and finding the right amount of the foundation is to the so you can see what a difference that made. Just so you can compare the difference, I am going to be applying the foundation on its own Can you see the difference? So that's the foundation on its own, and this is the foundation that's been mixed with the pigment. What a difference. So then, just taken out the booster, but that's okay. Just gonna complete the look. So this is now a very neutral and wearable foundation for my skin, and I do not have to discard it or put it in the back of my shelf because it doesn't suit me. So how beautifully, this is a really good, I think I'm going to give it more times, more goes, because today I've just moisturized and hydrated my skin so well that it kind of feels good. So I want to know, and in the evening when I wear a foundation, I generally don't tend to apply a sunscreen as well, and it's just the moisturizer, the serums, and one of those primers, and the boosters that I would be applying, and I think this is perfect. So that was the warm to neutral. Now the next one we are going to be doing is the neutral, so the cool to the neutral. So this is the Dior in 3C, which is very gray on my face normally. I'll just show you how it sits, so you can see the difference, how gray that is and how cool tone that is. Now with this foundation you need very little. It's got excellent coverage, it's very matte, and I love it, if only if it met my skin. Again, I'm going to be using the Orange Obsession pigment on this foundation. With the Orange Obsession, I just go little by little because I don't want it to become very orange. So that's how much I will apply initially. I will take another foundation brush just so you guys can see how it mixes. Again, I would, because the brush is a bit wet, I might actually apply it with my hand. You can see how the pigment is quite thick, so you want to make sure you kind of blend it, blend well. As you can see, it is turning more and more warm. I don't want it to be too warm, so I'm not going to be adding any more, but you can see they both now look very similar and very neutral to each other rather than a cool tone. So I'm going to take my brush and then just run the brush on it and then spread the product on the brush and kind of immerse the brush in it so it is evenly coated. And you can see now how much more neutral it is. I don't think if I applied it on its own like the other one you might see the difference, but I will try. It kind of is more obvious a little later after I have applied. So that's very light and very cool for me, but this does work. I'm just going to take that off and then apply. So you can see both of these are almost similar shades. Neutralized one, the warm one, and I've neutralized the cool one as well. I haven't blended the product, so I'm just going to take my sponge, my wet sponge, and blend it. So now I've blended the foundations. You can see how neutral that foundation is. So I hope you guys found my video on how to change the undertone of your wrongly purchased undertone of your foundation using these amazing products from Bad M, the pigment paint.